Halo there, Spartans and Marines. Dried Moss here with another look at Mega BLOKS Halo series. This is the Covenant Wraith. 637 pieces. This is a different version of the original release that Mega BLOKS did with the Covenant Wraith. Some of the differences you can see right off the bat are the enclosed structure for the turret, and they've included a Forerunner structure there in the back. Comes with an Elite and a Spartan. Let's take a look at the back and see some of the action items for this set. Again, an enclosed structure for the turret, the Forerunner structure there, and it comes with 3 figures. It comes with UNSC Spartan EOD, the Covenant Elite Combat, and the Covenant Elite Commando. A lot of good stuff going on with this guy. Let's open this thing up, take a look inside, and we'll also get a comparison from the original release of the Covenant Wraith. All right, all opened up and constructed. This is a look at the Mega BLOKS Halo Covenant Wraith, the second series, set number 9, a total of 637 pieces. A very nice build, a lot of improvements. I enjoyed the build. I had a good time. Some of the improvements that they've made on this set is the forward turret housing itself is actually a rotatable turret. The first version was not. The actual fuel rod cannon housing, you can actually put this thing down into the housing, and then that top portion there actually closes up nicely. So that is an awesome addition there. Some of the other things are the pylons. The left and right pylon actually moves to where the other one was static, and these are a little bit more maneuverable, a little bit more smooth. The figure itself fits nicely in there, and then the compartment on the inside of the Wraith, the actual pilot cockpit, actually has a nice seating area there, a nice panel there as well. I haven't put the stickers on these sets because one thing that I don't like about the Mega BLOKS series, some of the stickers actually overlay where 2 pieces flush up to each other, and if you took those pieces apart, then that sticker would be peeled off, and I like to rebuild these things quite a bit. So let's take a closer look at the Wraith. So a little bit of a closer look. We'll do a quick rotation around here. You can see the details, and when you see the comparison video of the previous Wraith, you'll see some of the additions that they made and the improvements that they've made overall. But right off the bat, the biggest thing they've made is this compartment up here for the fuel rod cannon is much more detailed, much closer to the way that the Wraith looks inside the video game. But that obviously comes with how they've improved the actual in-game model. The pylons on the side were static on the original version, but they actually move up and down, so as the Wraith kind of moves around kind of a different terrain, it actually can kind of go with that terrain. The outer part of the pylon itself rotates. The pilot himself, the cockpit, is much nicer, much more realized. He fits nice and snug in there. I really like the upgrade there, and I'll show you the kind of the comparison of the previous set. But really good job there with what they've done. Thanks, Mega BLOKS. The turret spacing. The turret actually rotates, not 360 degrees because you don't want to fire into the back of the fuel rod cannon area. But the character fits nicely in there. Good hand grips, and you'll see a big difference there with the previous But then again, this fuel rod cannon compartment is probably one of my favorites. It opens and closes very easily, nicely, compact, and then the fuel rod cannon itself comes out. The fuel rod cannon design is actually very similar to the previous iteration of the Wraith. They've added a couple more details and geometry up in here. But you can see the back end of the compartment even itself has some details there. And with all these Mega BLOKS sets, the build is very rigid, it's very strong, holds together nicely, nothing's going to fall apart. And then the aft pylons here also move. Not quite sure what they wanted to do with this this part right here, but I would probably say you could put a Spartan on the back there like he's going to throw in a grenade. So I mean, that works really well. Good stuff there. So let's take a closer look at the weapons. All right, so the plasma grenade launcher. One thing I don't understand is why they didn't give a little bit more detail. In previous sets, usually like the Covenant Armory packs, they actually go on and paint the details into these weapons, but you do get these weapons with the set. Wish they would have painted them though. UNSC rocket launcher. Again, they went ahead and decided not to do much of a paint job on these guys. I mean, I have seen sets to where they've been a little bit more detailed, but that is the rocket launcher. Another Covenant weapon. Again, I've seen some blue paint jobs on these before. And finally, a designator. At least it looks like a designator to me. Alright, here we have the UNSC Spartan EOD. Nice details there in the helmet. And here's a look at a variant from the Armory. These pieces are included. You take off the chest piece, the arms, the legs, and you essentially just attach those pieces from the EOD to make a Scout. I don't know why they couldn't have just given me 2 legs and a waist piece and then the connecting pegs for the legs. But there you go. You can make a different Spartan with just moving those 5 pieces. Sorry, those 4 pieces. The 2 arms, the chest, and then the head to make an EOD into a Scout. And here we've got the Covenant Elite Combat. The gold really contrasts nicely with the purple, the indigo paint job that's on the Wraith itself. Good details there all around. Alright, and then finally we have the Covenant Elite Commando. Again, same great paint job. Nice mold. Nice job there on the eyes with the helmet. Alright, so here's a comparison with the original Wraith here on the left and then the new Wraith here on the right. Now, the paint job is a little bit different. The new Wraith has that indigo effect. The purple is a little darker on the original Wraith. The pylons on the original Wraith do not move. They are rigid. The pylons on the new Wraith actually do go up and down, and then they pivot on the outermost edge of both of those pylons. A little bit of a shielding up on the top. The turret here does not look like a turret at all on the original Wraith. It just looks like a fire hose. They definitely could have done a little bit better job on that. But they've improved that here with a full turret canopy or a full turret seating position for the figure itself, and then the turret itself is actually one of those turrets straight from the game. The model there, the mold is really nice there. The cockpit, the size of the cockpit is relatively the same, but you can see inside the original Wraith, it's pretty much flat inside there. There's not much seating. It's just a square inside there. On the new Wraith, you actually have a nice seating position with a chair, some control points, and a screen there. So really nice improvement there. Both sets I've taken off the neutral pieces, which allow the Wraith to look like it's hovering. So I've taken those off. These are the neutral pieces for the Indigo Wraith there on the right, and then they actually have these pieces there for the Wraith here on the left. So on the original, it actually hovered a little bit higher because you have a little bit more space there between. But they sit the exact same height. You see some similar pieces. The turret in the back, you can actually see a lot of really good improvements there. They've done a lot to give that an enclosed, for the plasma turret, the plasma cannon, the fuel rod cannon. But the fuel rods themselves are very similar. Not much has changed there. You can see they still open up. But really it's just very small detail improvements. The biggest one being that it's a fully enclosed compartment for the fuel rod cannon on the Indigo Wraith. So really like that addition. In the back, you can kind of see how you have a little bit of a difference there. Again, these don't move too much, but the pylons here, the rear pylons, actually do move considerably more. Some of the exhaust, just small little details that you can actually see in the back part of the forward pylons. Sort of the thrust, the engines there. A little bit of difference there. But overall, nice improvements. The forward turret housing, the fuel rod cannon housing, the pilot housing has been improved. The forward pylons, they move. I don't like that they didn't do a little bit more detail in here. They could have added a little more color in those. The paint job, the Indigo, is really nice on the new one. And it just, overall, it's much sleeker. They've improved upon that. So thanks a lot for that, BLOKS. And here's a closer look at the included Forerunner structure. These things themselves, I like how they've added these. Some of the other sets from the original releases had turrets or some kind of Spartan weapon attacking the Covenant vehicle. But I like the inclusion of these Forerunner structures because these themselves become sort of a collection, and when you collect all the Forerunner structures, you sort of have this nice set. So what new Forerunner structure will be in the new release sets, that's something to kind of look forward to. But nice details. It does have some good Forerunner cues. The light, the blue light, which is very common. Again, I talked about not putting my stickers on, and those blue strips right there would actually be on that forward, it would pretty much combine, it would overlap these two vertical pieces here, and then if you wanted to rebuild this set or use these to kind of make your own, you would lose the adhesiveness of that sticker because you'd have to peel the sticker off. So I don't always put stickers on if they overlap two pieces. It's one thing I wish that they'd change in their design there at BLOKS. Alright, so that was a look at the Covenant Wraith from the BLOKS Halo series, the update to the Wraith by itself, all the updates that I talked about, the canopy, the turret, the fuel rod cannon, the addition of the new paint job there is enough to, even if you had one of these sets already from the previous release, the inclusion of all these new items is enough to go out and pick up another Covenant Wraith to add to your collection. The Forerunner Structures themselves have become sort of that standalone piece inside each individual set, much like the characters that you want to go out and collect the pieces for. So overall, nice addition there, nice set. So with a total of 637 pieces, the updates that they've made to this Covenant Wraith are awesome. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you clicking on the videos. Look forward to the next one.